My name is Peter Mbui, and I joined Rotary in the year 2001. I started first day as an assistant treasurer, and unfortunately it didn't stay long. After about 6 months, the treasurer got a job in India, and he handed over. By that time, I had known the members quite well, so it wasn't very difficult. So I was a treasurer, and I did a good job. So actually, I did a better job than the treasurer who was there before, because he could not close the books of accounts. But when I came in, I was able to get all the accounts audited very quickly within a very short time. And from there, I started rising. I was appointed secretary, and I remained there for some time. I was also put at one time in charge of projects, family of Rotary, before I was appointed the president of the club. Now, unfortunately, when I was appointed the president of the club, it was a time when I was shifting into Nairobi. In fact, I worked half the week in Nakuru, the other half in Nairobi. And so when I finished my year, I had to move out of Nakuru and join the Rotary Club of Nairobi East within a year after I joined the club. And I found they had a problem, they had a crisis. The president whom they had chosen, president-elect, absconded. And there was nobody willing to be president or trained. So, to my surprise, they approached me to become president. Now, I think you've been president, you know, how can a president, immediate past president, have his name changed to president-elect? So I was an immediate past president and president-elect at the same time. So I went back and became a president of the Rotary Club of Nairobi East. I really protested. I thought I wanted a bit of rest. But later, I discovered that that was the best thing I ever did, to accept to be president when I was immediate past president. From there, I was appointed an assistant governor. From the assistant governor, I served only 1 year. I was appointed the country chair. And in those days, the country chair was a big deal, because the governor was based in Uganda. So you are actually like the governor in Kenya, handling everything, including dues and contribution to the Rotary Foundation. All those fell in the hands of the country chair. So from country chair, I have served in very many other roles until finally ascending to be district governor. By that time, I had visited very many clubs, and I wanted to give my people in Nakuru, my members, a great experience. So I decided to be bold, and before the first day, before I actually became president, I sat down and decided on the people to invite for 52 weeks, from the first week to the last week. I had hoped that some of them will fall by the wayside, because in my club, we used to have the third week as an assembly. So I thought some of them will not come, so we still have our assembly days. So I sent 26 letters. And these were not ordinary people. We had invited the ambassadors and high commissioners from 6 nations. From South Africa, South America, we invited the ambassador from Brazil, the other one from, which is this place where Maradona came from, Argentina. We also invited the US Embassy. Then we went to Europe, we invited the British High Commissioner. We went to Asia, we invited the Taiwan Ambassador. We also invited the Indian High Commissioner, among others. Then we invited very high-profile people, like the World Bank Director and the IMF Director, the Vice Chancellor of the university near there, Egerton University, the Director of Medical Services, the Commissioner of Prisons, Commissioner of Police. Those kind of people are the ones we invited, High Court judges, magistrates, and we invited them for a full year. And I was very surprised when I sent the first 26 letters before I became president, and the 24 confirmed. And I couldn't even get my day as for the assemblies. So that's how it began, and it was a wonderful experience, yes. It turned out to be big business because what happened also, I insisted that nobody should come without a guest because I was worried about having an empty house, room with, with only a few people, and we have an ambassador or IMF director. But they overdid it, and I had meetings with well over 90 people, and I never had a meeting with less than about 40 people throughout the year. Yeah. When I was actually president in Nakuru, I decided to register some members to go to the RI convention. Then it was in Salt Lake City. So I was the only person in my club and one more who had been to the US. But I managed to convince 22 members to register for the convention, and we went. What later happened after that trip really shocked me because, first of all, we started having very many people from Nakuru and the areas around there because they made a lot of fuss when they came back from that area going to the convention. Before then, very few people ever went to the convention. In fact, I was the only one who had attended a convention. The other thing was that some people actually migrated to the US. After that, they found it interesting. They stayed there with their people. Later, they came back, applied for a green card, and some of them won and migrated. And of course, that is a major change. They moved with their families. Some of my members in Rotary Club of Nakuru, they migrated. And I thought that, wow, I didn't think that it would cause so much, change in people's lives. Again, we were doing a project, and we used to have some Americans coming to visit our project every year in July. And I was at the forefront of inviting them and encouraging them to come, and we would organize, very good programs for them. And because of that effort, one of the American ladies got married to a member of the club. And again, I said, wow, I didn't think that all these things I'm doing are going to cause so much change. But yes, there was a very big change in the way people thought about Rotary after I was president in the club, yeah. There's one day we were having a president visiting, an RI president, and he was from India. And then we had somebody who invited the Indian High Commissioner. And so he came to see me as we waited for the RI president. And he asked me, where am I going to sit? And I showed him a table which was not where the RI president was going to sit because it was already full by his aide, his wife, and the governor, and we also had a director from Uganda who had visited, and there was no other chair. So he just stood up and said, if I'm not sitting on that table, I'm off. And he walked out very annoyed. And true enough, he didn't come back. And it was so I thought, hey, these are very unusual moments. And people asked me, what have you done to the ambassador? I told them, I just told him that it's going to be very difficult to sit on the high table because they had only 6 or 8 table members, and the man was coming with his wife, and all the other district officers were coming with their wives. So I have had moments, interesting ones like those ones. Of course, we had low times, sometimes we lost a key member in Nakuru, the one who started our project there. He once went to a Rotary event in America, then went to Mexico. And when he was there, he died in the hotel. And there was no communication. So he didn't return. When people went to wait for him at the airport, he didn't turn up. And we started looking for him all over the US and Mexico. And it took 40 days before we knew that he had died in a hotel, in Mexico. So we've had very low moments in our Rotary journey as well, yeah. I would say the most important organ of Rotary. Because in a simple manner, we had a project in Nakuru where we wanted to do, we did a global grant. Those days were called matching grants, to do about 100 water tanks. The project was so successful, we got even more people asking to get tanks. And we did another one for 200 tanks. And it has continued on and on. And now they are doing their 8,000th tank. And I saw the way it impacted on people, and I've watched as they grow, because we keep on visiting those people. I must admit it can change lives completely. There are some people we built the tank, others we dug a small borehole, is a well, and give them a rope pump. There's a pump you rotate like this and it pumps out water. It has got a rope going around from top to bottom. And I've seen that man, the way he has changed, irrigating his very small piece of land. And he has built a good house now. And it's just from there, we had also some funds. We would give microfinance. We bought some people some cows, others bought some sheep and goats. And I've seen like somebody with a cow, it gave birth and now he has got a herd and completely transformed. So Rotary Foundation is wonderful in what it can do for people, especially if the grants are comprehensive. They are not just dealing with one thing like education. They are dealing with education. They have got a microfinance element to it. They have got several areas of focus that they can make a very, very big change. I've seen them make a very, very big change indeed. First of all, there is continuous training in Rotary. I've attended, probably in those 23 years, I may have attended probably about 16 or so trainings as an officer. Like these are PETs and DTTSs. I've attended very many because I've been a senior officer for many years. So you learn a lot. But the greatest lesson I've learned is by observing the people we work with. You learn from them. You see what they do, and you do the same. You see some successful people, you work with very successful people, and as you work with them, they impart a bit of that knowledge to you. What I find most interesting, and people seem to ignore, is what participating in Rotary does to you as an individual. The lessons you learn, the things that you learn that you can do for yourself. I found those to be very interesting. And I'll give an example. In a Rotary meeting, I found somebody many years ago who talked to us about forming a personal pension plan. Now remember, I had just resigned from the ministry and where I was permanent and pensionable. And here I was now doing business, and he told me, open a pension plan. And I did that. And it later turned out that that man had helped me a lot. It turned out to be a very, very good decision I made from the lessons I learned there. I've learned many other lessons in Rotary about personal finance, about leadership, which have really helped me in my own personal life. And I see many other people who've been transformed by interacting with especially the international trainings are very, very good, especially when you are going to be governor. They are very high quality, and it can really change you as a person in addition to being of great importance to you as a Rotary leader. When I was becoming country chair, we were, and that was around 2012, we were 700 members, and we were about 42 clubs, 700 members. And we hit 1,000 members that year when I was country chair, and Eric Kimani was the governor. That is the first time we hit 1,000 members. And by looking at the members that joined, I made a prediction and wrote in the magazine that I think it had taken 85 years to reach 1,000 members. But I thought it will not take more than 5 years to get another 1,000 members. Actually, it took 4. Within 4 years, we are 2,000. And within a short time, about 7 other years now, we are about 4,000. So yes, this there has been a very, very big change, and that change, as I said, comes with its plus, positives and negatives. And for instance, I see laxity in the changes. There have been changes in rules. When we joined Rotary, if you missed 4 consecutive meetings, you got a letter terminating your membership. Now that was whittled down. The club decides how we are going to be meeting. We've had a lot of Zoom meetings, especially during Corona. And funny enough, I missed those meetings. I thought that during that time of Zoom, I attended meetings in all countries in the world, South Africa. I would Zoom and join in. I would attend meetings in India, in America, because our friends there, even Australia. You know, we had Zoom meetings with people, clubs which were doing projects for us, with us in Europe and America and all that. And I found that very interesting. Don't fear leadership. Yes, so if you get an opportunity to be a leader, take it up. It will be very useful to you if you do it correctly. That's one. The other one is that if you are Rotarian and you have never attended an international convention, the RI convention, then you do not fully understand Rotary. For me, when I attended the first Rotary convention, it was actually the 100th in 2005, or thereabouts, and it was in Chicago. It's the first time I understood what Rotary was, because I had never seen so many people in one place. We know we go to churches, we have meetings, but that convention had 38,000 people in attendance. Now, I've organized meetings for club meetings. Of course, they are difficult to organize. I've organized, district conferences. They are very difficult. It takes 1 full year to organize a district conference. And I wondered, how did they organize a meeting of that 8,000 people with the breakouts, and everybody has got a seat, everybody has a program. Once you get there, then you see the people themselves. You see how diverse we are. I think that is something I would recommend to each and every Rotarian to aspire to at least attend one RI convention. It will really change the way you think. The lessons I learned, first of all, I didn't know that they invited very senior members of society. We saw very high profile people coming to speak to us, past presidents, you know, the very wealthy people, like the Bill Gates Senior, that was the father of Bill Gates, who was then running the Gates Foundation. I didn't know that we could attract very high-profile guests to come and speak to at a Rotary convention. Being a Rotary member, you must be involved. I stand here as a person who has had 100% attendance for 23 years, probably falling to around 95% when I travel sometimes overseas. But I attend meetings there when I'm there as well. So if you go into it seriously and participate, that's when you have the benefit. But if you go into Rotary half-heartedly, you do not attend, you don't go to the project visits when they are available, you don't have to go to all of them, participate, then you will not get any benefit. If you don't attend the conferences, then you will not know people. You just know your club members. And what I would like to say, Rotary is a lot more than just your club members. If those are the people you spend a lot of your time with, then you have not really understood why Rotary is called Rotary International.